First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite.
Hello.
Braden Harrington here with Davey Portman for Up Next, and this is BDElite.
It is. It's BDElite, live from the brand new BDE. Hello. Welcome. This is our AEW review, but we are your NXT friends.
We'll always be your NXT friends, and we'll always be your Dynamite friends, even after watching Blood and Guts. We'll still be your friends. Maybe not so much for some people. Maybe they'll think we're being mean. But
hey, speak for yourself, not for me.
What a lovely
Dynamates. Yeah,
Dynamates.
That's good.
There you go. We can be your Dynamates. I love it. Thank you, Sino, in the chat. Yes, we go live every Tuesday night after NXT, and then we record Up Next at like 10:15, and then of course the podcast goes out. But we record the show on our Twitch.tv/UpNextPodcast. But then the same goes for Wednesday nights. We will be your Dynamates, and we'll cover Dynamite, and we'll go on at like 10:15 or 10:10 or whatever after that. But we just moved. We mentioned on Up Next yesterday, and we're in our new pad. We did a watch-along, our first ever Dynamite watch-along, because it's blood and guts.
Yeah, it was a big one. This is the event that was planned a whole year ago that never happened, and finally we got the Blood and Guts match, the War Games match in AEW.
Yeah, War Games. Obviously, like the WCW, WWE's brought it back with NXT, but it's Dusty's creation, is it not? So
I believe so, yeah.
So that's why Cody always kind of, I feel like, wanted to do it. So they had it in mind like a year ago, but we got to see it tonight. But yeah, so we did a watch along. We kind of made a little makeshift set because we're in the midst of kind of creating a set. Maybe by next week we'll have a full.
I hope
proper
so.
set.
We've got a lot of stuff arriving, and we can build it up real nice for next Tuesday.
Yeah, we got, like we mentioned, we got gaming chairs.
They're comfy.
If you put USBs,
They're good.
plug the USB in it, it like becomes a massage gaming chair for no reason at all.
It's good for the back as well.
We got a new desk coming. We're gonna make a whole set with all sorts of stuff. So that's what we've been doing. We've been settling in downtown Toronto. We've been living the good life.
We're happy. Yeah, we're very happy.
Yeah, like recording this, it's nighttime, but I can like see like the Toronto Island, see the water.
I mean, we always cook when we're watching these shows as well, so it's nice being able to watch from the kitchen. It's been great.
We're pretty cute roommates, and we decided like when we started NXT every week living together that we swap alternate cooking nights and stuff like that. And now we have like this kitchen where we don't have to like run back and forth to like watch the show or put a laptop in the kitchen to watch the show and stuff like that. We can just, the days of it's back, it's on are no more for us. We're the big times now.
We are, yeah. We've moved on up, and
we have TVs everywhere
great.
now.
Yeah, we do. We need more Chromecasts.
Yeah,
just Chromecast to every surface in this place. Just
Every
TVs
service?
Everywhere.
That'd be great. We
have
need a
wrestling
projector.
on permanently.
Because like last time, a year or so ago for Wrestle Kingdom, we set up a projector. We borrowed one and plug in my KRK speakers, and we had like quite a Wrestle Kingdom. So I feel like we could do that. We get a big projector and just start streaming wrestling events. We have a perfect place for parties.
Yes.
And we're living in a pandemic when we can't even throw parties.
We can't.
So
no.
it's just been great.
It has been. No.
So we're the party. This is our
We
parties.
are the party. We're the party with you guys. And we'd like to extend that party later tonight by, if you are a patron of us and want to call in to give us your thoughts on tonight's Blood and Guts or last night's NXT or the wrestling world in general, please check your kind of inboxes on Patreon because we have just posted the Zoom link and we'd love to hear from you guys tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Patrons, thank you so much for supporting. And if you're not a patron, hey, sign up now. The beginning of the month just started of May, and all the shows coming out. We just did a War Games throwback show we mentioned. We put the Facebook group to a vote. Join the Facebook group, by the way, Up Next podcast group. And we put it to a vote, and the group voted for WCW War Games 2000. We just released that today in honor. So I saw the people, the early birds were checking that show out earlier during the day. So go check that out because you may or may not attempt to DM a Nitro girl.
I think I will.
Well, don't give it away. You gotta listen to the show.
Find out who.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, that's a different show for best match ever Nitro girls, but like not like just best Nitro girl show would be good.
Was she a No. Does she count as a Nitro girl?
If she's on Nitro.
If it's a girl on Nitro, does that make you a Nitro?
I think,
they're all the same to you, aren't they, Braden?
No.
Just see a skirt and you're like, oh.
No.
Some Nitro girl over there.
No. Because Tori Wilson is just in a crazy league. And we talk about all her great stuff from War Games 2000, which isn't really a War Games. So we were going to do a classic War Games match, and everyone voted for War Games 2000, which was actually just a triple cage match, which is so ridiculous.
Yes.
But listen to us talk about that as well. As a Up Yours of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is an interesting choice from our world champ.
Picked by Robert Frith.
Yeah, Robert, who's picked. I know he loves this movie, and I think we're kind of fans of Tim Burton here at the BD. So you've never seen it.
I'm not. No.
You're not a fan of Tim Burton?
He's made the same film like 13 times.
Okay, well,
he's had good films.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not really a Tim Burton fan.
Like, I'd say this is one of his earlier ones, so this one's good. I love Pee-wee. It was always on TV for me as a kid, so I have not watched it in a long time. But, that's an interesting pick that we'll be doing. We did The Outsiders as well last week, which was a lot of fun as well. Stay Gold, Pony Boy. So look for those reviews on the Patreon. And I know everyone's buzzing about the new Mortal Kombat movie, so we did the OG Mortal Kombat movie. That's just from like 2 weeks ago there as well. So we've been doing all sorts of movie reviews in there. But
yeah, and as always, don't forget to check out John Cena's Shot in the Dark. That was released earlier today, covering everything from NWA Power to AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, NXT UK, all covered within 15 minutes, free every Wednesday. But maybe we should say what's coming up next week as well, so you can get ahead of the game and watch it, because we love getting all your feedback. WWF Backlash 2001 We're on the road to WrestleMania Backlash, guys.
Oh.
So we're going to go back to 2001 for a stacked Backlash, including the Queensberry Rules, man.
Yeah, William Regal, Chris
Yes.
Jericho.
Yes, I'm
Queensberry
excited.
Rules. So yeah, reviews from the 6, Backlash 2001. That's a show we'll be doing next week as well. What's next week?
And we're also joined by someone you may be familiar with, a certain person from New Jersey, talking all about Samurai Cop from 1991. Yes, it's Brandon from New Jersey joining us for an episode of Up Yours. He has selected the film Samurai Cop.
Wow.
I think it does what it says on the tin. I don't know. I've not read the synopsis or anything.
Samurai
yet.
Cop.
I'm assuming it's about a cop who's a samurai.
That would be so outlandish.
Maybe.
You gotta see Wolf Cop.
Is it about a cop who's a wolf?
It's so good.
I like Axe Cop, the cartoon. I tried
Axe
showing
Cop.
you that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it's really
It's ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah, so we have all these shows as well as stuff coming out later in the month. So go join us there on the Patreon. Only $5 for North American tier and gets access to all the podcasts we've done in the past. Was Next, all the best match ever, everything like that is there on the North American tier. But if you're a wild one, a world champ, you not only get to pick a show and come on and join us, but you also get access to Behind the BDE, which I'm sure they're going to get even more outlandish because we have such a cool pad now. So
Yeah.
that show's going to be worth it. I saw a few people signed up for World Champ just to quickly go and listen to
binge?
Yeah. I see you, Scrump and Fire Frank. Like, I got to hear what these goons are saying. I got to hear. So go join us there. All the podcasts. That's what we do to keep sane during these crazy times because here in Toronto, we're still in like lockdown. We're hearing AEW's doing full shows.
I tried to get a vaccine booked yesterday.
Yeah.
Because
you
they've started,
vaxxed?
certain areas are like opening up for 18 plus.
Right.
Now, my work from our new place is 6-minute walk.
Yeah, like 10 minutes. Not
You go past the actual vaccine like center
Okay.
to get there. Where we are now is not a hotspot, but my work is. So like just across that bridge is essentially
a hotspot.
hotspot.
For the vax.
So can't get the vax yet, annoyingly.
You're going to be what, team
Even
Pfizer?
though I'll be working in a hotspot. I'll be team whatever they put in me.
You're gonna.
I really don't care.
People are gonna. They're gonna be gang warfare, stables and factions of the.
I'll have them all.
The Moderna boys.
Yeah.
Or the once you're a Pfizer, you're
Yeah.
a Pfizer all the way. Yeah, I'm not like super. I'm not against it. I think it's definitely something. I'm just not super. I feel like there's people definitely who need it quickly before me. But
For sure, yeah.
If they're like, hey, your time's now, you can get it. I'll be like, yeah, cool, great, thanks. But yeah, definitely, I think is a good thing because I know, the world's most famous podcaster. I guess that's arguably, but Joe Rogan has gotten.
I thought you were going to say WH
Us.
Park.
Oh no.
So no, WH Park got his second one.
Who? Yeah, who kind of backtracked on some things he said about the vaccines and stuff like that. And right now, we're getting probably someone listening who's either on the sides and stuff. And I can see from both sides, but I definitely don't think they're microchipping us.
No.
Because they're already doing that with their phones. So
Yeah.
they don't need to do that. And I don't know about the nanobots.
Like, we literally say everything about ourselves on the internet daily. I'm not worried about being tracked.
We give our address out to strangers who send us like Sega Genesis
Genocide, yeah.
in the mail and artwork and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know if the government's real. I'm down to get vaxxed. I know. Is that you're? I think you're rushing to get vaxxed really quick so that you can put it on your Tinder bio so it says vaxxed.
This is true. Yeah, this is true.
I knew it. I'm on to you, Portman.
No, but what I find funny is looking around, seeing all these like posters and things being like, "Get vaccinated." It's like, yeah, I'm fucking trying. Stop advertising stuff I can't get. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you were saying the other day about they keep advertising these White Claws, new flavors that I can't find anywhere.
I hate when they advertise things that aren't like even available
Exactly,
yet.
like the
calm down.
vaccine.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys, we all need to get vaccinated.
do it.
Vaccinated. We need to get in this together. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I tried to book one today. Couldn't get it.
Well, I hope we get it. I hope
Yeah.
we do, so the swipes can continue.
Stream it live. I'll do a watch along.
With your swiping?
No, vaccinate.
Oh, of your vaccination. Both of those things sound good. You should do it at the same time.
All right, yeah.
Because you only need one arm to get vaxxed, and the other can you be swiping.
Who was it? We raided a room on Twitch the other day, and they were just doing Tinder swipes or something. Was it Veda Scott?
No, Veda Scott's with
She's
Mike
married,
Bailey,
yeah.
or whatever, but yeah.
Who was it?
It was
some wrestler, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's wrestled in AEW before. Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh, was it Blue Pants?
No.
No.
The one with the Seth Rollins hair. She's great, actually. I think she's pretty good. I think AEW should sign her. I'm blanking on her name completely. Allison Kay. That's
oh, okay, yes.
AK-47. Yeah.
Yes.
I think she's a pretty good wrestler. I think she's funny. She's that's an interesting. That seems borderline illegal to stream like something in and out.
Yeah, seeing but no, because I guess if you're putting yourself out there, aren't you?
Sounds tricky. I think it's hilarious, and I think it's
funny.
really funny that we saw that.
Yeah, what would the legality about?
I don't think it would be.
I feel kind of once those apps, once you sign up, you kind of give away all your human rights.
True.
I think
right.
So.
I see you.
I'm sure there's something in that whole long contract that I didn't read when I just ticked it and said I read to continue.
Yeah.
That was like, hey, we own all your photos. It can be on Twitch. We can monetize off of this.
Well, you got to set your location to wherever Allison Kay is, so so you can super like. Maybe she'll super like you.
Maybe.
I picture you in the chair getting vaxxed while it's happening, changing the bio to fully vaxxed, like with a winky face emoji.
Well, I'd start off half vaxxed, would I?
Half vaxxed?
Yeah.
Wow, is that the new thing? Are you fully vaxxed?
Just you fully vaxxed? Oh, you're only half vaxxed?
Half vaxxed. You nothing. Well, that's. I hope it goes well for you, but for us, for everyone. I hope everyone's getting vaxxed so we can all hang out again.
Yeah.
I miss hanging out with people.
Do these things live.
Yeah, hell yeah. We want people to come over. You're all invited to the new
all of you.
We got a nice kid. You can sleep on our couch.
Yeah.
And sit in the lazy boy. Mm-hmm. That's about it, though. We don't have a guest room, but like
floor.
There's a floor.
There's a bath.
There's a bathtub.
There's a bar. Yeah, loads of surfaces.
Yeah, that's fine. Live by the lake. You could go chill in someone's boat.
Go for a swim.
Yeah, all that stuff. We don't have Ralph the Raccoon anymore here at the new location where we live, because we lived in Koreatown, Toronto, kind of a little suburb, cool pocket, hip part of Toronto, and they had so many raccoons, including our Ralph. We did see him one final night, as well as our cat Manny, the street cat that we knew. But now we live near the lake, and we were like, oh man, like we don't have Ralph anymore. And then what did we see? We saw
Gary
the goose. He's a cheeky little bugger too.
So yeah, we keep seeing this goose, and we were talking about him last night after we recorded Up Next, and we're like, I guess we should name the goose. Well, and you go, what should we call him? I was like, I was thinking Gary. And you're like, I was thinking Gary too.
Yeah.
So
Gary the goose is pretty,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Canadian goose for those, like the jackets. That's what they're made out of. Hopefully not Gary.
Poor Gary.
Yeah, but
Gary's mom.
But the Canadian geese are kind of assholes. Like they're not really nice.
No wonder why we turn them into fucking coats. I'd be an asshole if someone was trying to turn me into a coat.
All I know is now we need to change all our branding from raccoons to goose.
To geese.
Geese. The white claw thing with the geese.
Could be like a bit of a wing coming out for the wave.
Let's just get Canada
Robert.
Goose jacket. Let's just get Canada Goose jackets.
Yeah.
I know people are... Jesse from the Six just unsubscribed.
They're pretty expensive as well.
Yeah. I heard they are nice and warm. Sorry, Gary. But yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on the wildlife near us. Because we're like near the water and the island and stuff like that. But that's all the animals. And ducks. We've seen some ducks. But they're not as exciting.
I love ducks.
I love the mighty ducks, but...
No, ducks are cool.
Ducks are cool?
They're just having so much fun. Have you ever seen a sad duck?
The ugly duckling.
He wasn't a duck, he was a swan.
Oh.
Yeah.
But why is it called the ugly duckling?
Because everyone thought he was ugly, because he didn't look like the other. Do you not know?
It's been a minute, man. I don't know.
It's kind of the whole story. It's not just about this ugly bird.
I know lots of stories like that.
Right.
Well, that's the update on our moving situation. Duck, goose. I guess we can get into some blood and guts.
Blood and ducks.
Blood and ducks. Yes. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite from Wednesday, May the 5th, 2021. It is Blood and Guts. We mentioned it's their war games, essentially. They say the word war here and there, but they're kind of saying it, not saying it.
Yeah.
That classic...
Games of war.
I'm surprised none of them mentioned... There's a movie with Matthew Broderick called War Games, where they could have like done tie-ins to that.
I'm surprised because normally when they do this sort of thing, like a name change, JR's just like, fuck it. And it's like, this War Games match right here. But, yeah, I think they could have been cheekier.
Yeah, they weren't, but they pretty much were like, you know what it is.
You know what it is.
You know what it is. It's 2 rings, there's a giant cage, and everyone's going to fight. And
Yeah, at one point, I think is it Tony or Excalibur even says, Cody's brother Dustin was one of those great Blood and Guts matches from years ago. You're like, yeah, pretty sure it wasn't cool.
It wasn't called Blood and Guts,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's when they could have said, like, hey, you know the name. You could have even said, we're not allowed to say the other name. But in TNA, they called it Lethal Lockdown.
Okay, was it the same match?
It's pretty much the same thing, but not double. They didn't do double.
Oh.
They just did one.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the 6.
Okay.
But yeah.
No, I'm fine with it.
Blood and Guts, whatever. It was more like Blood and Butts tonight, really, because there was a lot of bumps.
A lot of butts.
And I didn't see any guts.
No.
Because all the guys...
You don't think it took guts to jump on that pillow at the end of the
It
show?
took so many guts to do that. Lethal Lockdown in TNA was the thing where at the end when everyone's in, a cage lowers and all these weapons come down.
Okay, yeah, we watched one of them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we did a review last year.
Oh yeah, Lockdown. Sting was in it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
And
probably.
AJ, yeah, good old
Jarrett, I think Jarrett was in it.
If it was TNA, Jarrett was in it.
Yeah.
Was he in this match?
Tonight?
No, he was in the one we watched for Nitro.
Yes.
The triple cage one.
It was
Ridiculous.
great.
He did climb it to his benefit of the doubt. So, Blood and Guts here tonight. There are some other matches. They promoted it almost like there wasn't, and then last minute, kind of last week, we're like, hey, there's also all these other things going on. And another one of these matches, we start off with the tag match that is advertised that was basically forced upon Kenny Omega because Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, threatened to step on Kenny's leg or break his leg, so Dawn accepted the match. So now this has to happen. It's Kenny and Nakazawa versus Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, but they're saying Kenny's not here. They're saying Nakazawa is going to fight this match on his own, and Don Callis says there's great, legendary, iconic Japanese wrestlers throughout history. Everyone knows the names. There's Inoki, there's Okada, Ibushi, and there's Nakazawa. So Nakazawa is going to do this 1-on-2, and as he's getting a beatdown, out of the crowd pops up Kenny for a cheeky attack. But the match starts, so that it is happening. Kenny gains control with a Kataro Crusher for a near fall early on. Kenny's kind of rocking some Dragon Ball Z tights, I thought.
Yeah, it looked
kind of
cool,
actually, though. There's this crazy spot where it's supposed to be just Moxley, head snapping Kenny down, but he sells it like he does the rock flips.
But he throws him right on the back of his head.
Yeah,
it looked painful. Yeah,
and then he hits a German suplex on Nakazawa, followed by a pile driver, and then he locks in the bully choke, and Kenny just leaves and goes, "Yeah, it's fine, just end the match, it's over." And they're like, "No, get back in here," and he's like, "Nah, I'm good, I'm out." So Kenny just dips, and then they decide to hit the half and half lariat combo on Nakazawa to pin him. And when Excalibur calls it that, Jim Ross gets really excited and says they should call that the Arnold Palmer, because the half and half.
Ah.
And I got a great chuckle. I definitely enjoy a good Arnold Palmer.
They're nice, yeah.
They're quite nice. And this match wasn't necessarily nice, but it had it was more of an angle, I'd say, to kind of prolong some sort of feud with the Elite and Mox and Kingston, because there is an attack after, but...
Yeah, the match, and I kind of felt this with all the matches tonight. So everything apart from the interviews outside the cage towards the end and the actual Blood and Guts match, everything else was taped. And just they were clearly trying to squeeze in a lot and give the Blood and Guts a lot of time, but it kind of felt like I was watching Dark at times. Just, it was very snap to the match over, next bit. And the match itself, it didn't really hit the standards of what I expect from a AEW opening tag match, but it almost felt like the whole show was kind of meant to be like that. It was all meant to be a bit of a pre-show before this main event. Just stylistically, it felt different to what I'm used to watching Dynamite.
Yeah, it felt, that's what I mean, it felt just maybe more of an angle to set up something else down the line, because after this, the Bucks come out for a beatdown, the Good Brothers show up, the Bucks looking fancy, everyone's looking fancy, the Elite here looking real fancy with their danglies.
Nick with his septum piercing.
Yeah.
What do we think about this guy?
Is this real?
Yeah.
Is it a real, I don't think it's real.
Just a clip-on?
There are such things.
I mean, it's the really easy bit to clip, isn't it?
Yeah. Septum piercings freak me out.
Yeah, not fan.
Bad experience with a high school girlfriend. That's all I'm gonna say. But I don't understand how he's like got to be 40 with kids getting a septum piercing.
Yeah, good for him. Sheamus did it.
It's
good enough for Sheamus.
I love
good
it.
Enough for Nick
They're
Jackson.
bad guys. I should hate them.
No, I think that's completely what they're doing with the danglies, the ridiculous. Oh, Matt Jackson's
Get up.
Yeah, his shorts, and he looked like he'd raided Ethan Page's wardrobe.
No,
this
like,
feels like what Ethan Page usually wears.
This is
the
like
matching
Armani
shorts and
everything.
Bahamas.
I don't know. It's
shirt.
super like fancy. It's like what Rick Ross would wear. It looks like right out of DJ Khaled's closet, really. But he's not wearing shoes, and he like super kicks Moxley and Kingston. I love a barefoot super kick. It was so funny. This beatdown was pretty good, and then they hit Eddie Kingston with the one-winged angel. So it looks like they're kind of setting up the Bucks and Mox and Kingston.
Yeah,
at the pay-per-view.
I assume so,
because they beat the shit out of them here. So Nakazawa gets beat, but they get the upper hand on Mox and Kingston after this. But yeah, I loved the ridiculous fit of the Good Brothers and the Bucks.
Kenny even gets them to count the Bucks to count the pin after the one-winged angel.
So Kenny wins the match.
Kenny wins
in his mind.
Beats Eddie.
They have an announcement for a match at Double or Nothing. Hikaru Shida, the women's champ, will put the title on the line against Britt Baker. It's official. So it's happening.
Good. Yeah, it's about time. It feels like this is a long time in the making. And both Hikaru Shida's been having some good matches. Britt Baker's really in her groove, I think. So this could be a really good match.
Yeah, it's time to make the title kind of...
And it feels a long time since they last squared off.
Yeah, it'll be a good match, and I think there needs to be a title change to... Britt's a star. So,
yeah, I'll put the title on Britt for sure.
We go to your real main event of the evening.
Oh, yes.
QT Marshall versus Cody Rhodes. Oh yeah, it's the Factory versus the Family. The Nightmare Family, the Nightmare people, and QT, they've had a bit of a breakup.
Nightmare Men v Factory Men.
And so QT's quit the family and says, you just, took all my thunder and say you did it. You say do the work, but you stole my work. You basically... He basically says, Cody, you're the guy in the group project who just shows up and says, look what we have here. It's great, and I did it, and it's not fair. So then he created his own team, and it's been promoting this. I thought the build to this last minute with the truck stuff was pretty fun.
Really good, yeah.
It was great to get me hyped. So QT comes out, but there's no family members. It's a one-on-one kind of thing here. It's different from the last time we saw these guys fight, because last time it was an
exhibition, a friendly match kind of thing.
So Cody versus QT. No epic entrance from Cody. They kind of cut it short here. Things are, like you said, are cut a lot because they want time for the main event. So no pyro for Cody.
No Snoop either.
No Snoop. There was Snoop.
Was there?
Oh yeah. There's always Snoop.
Huh.
There was.
I didn't notice Snoop.
Yep, there was. Was there Snoop? Snoop actually is in a new commercial. Obviously, that doesn't narrow it down.
How many commercials is
He's
he
in one with another one with Martha Stewart, where it's for the new Bic lighters.
Okay.
And the Bic lighters have a little extender, so you can light your candles without burning yourself, all these other things. So they keep mentioning light your candles and stuff, but it's perfect for lighting a joint.
Right.
So, yeah. Snoop in another commercial for Bic. Cody with the Snoop entrance versus QT. QT early, after doing some technical aggressive wrestling, grabs the belt, the weightlifting belt from Cody, and whips him with it. And the ref decides, yeah, it's all right, that's cool, that's fine, whatever. And then Cody is up on the top rope going for something, but QT, looking like Kurt Angle, runs up the top with this overhead throw off the top, which looked
beautiful.
Great. Better than Kurt Angle.
Better than Kurt.
It's QT.
QT Angle.
Yeah. There's then a deadlift German suplex from QT, which is also very impressive. Arn Anderson and QT getting a little bit of a scuffle. It looks like he spits in his face or something, so Arn gets pissed and starts to fight QT Which the ref still goes at. That's fine.
Like squeezes his head against the ring post. It was like pretty vicious.
Yeah. So the refs are like, that's fine. They go to picture. When we come back, is it Arn that they're like, get the hell out of here? Like, you shouldn't have interfered. But the match continues. QT gets countered from Cody, and this is when we see the first bum of the night because his pants get pulled down. But QT has a QT bum as it was blurred here in Canada.
Out.
Yeah, they blurred it. There's a DDT and a moonsault for a 2-fall for Cody. But QT gets back and hits Cody with his own move, the Crossroads, but Cody kicks out of that. There's an attempt for a tombstone, which gets countered, and eventually Cody hits QT with the tombstone, hits him with the Crossroads, but QT kicks out of that as they stand up in a face-to-face. It almost looks like Cody's like, I just want to, like, put you down. I don't want to, like, be the bad guy here. And QT hits him with the middle finger. And this is when I noticed that Cody's just bleeding, like, profusely.
Yeah, I didn't pick up where this was from, but it was right above the eye, like blood just dripping in his eye.
Yeah, but it didn't stop him from dropping QT into the figure 4, and QT has nowhere to go and taps out. Cody Rhodes beats QT.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed this, actually. I thought this was just some good, solid wrestling. Nothing particularly showy or flashy, but I quite enjoyed it. I thought the tombstone counter spot was really good, and I have been enjoying this whole factory storyline that's been going on.
Yeah, I actually think this needs to lead to like something a bit bigger down the line. Maybe a Cody, another one.
Go-Go.
Yeah, maybe.
Because
possibly.
The post-match.
Yeah, after the match, Anthony Ogogo comes down, delivers the gut punch to Cody, laying him out, and then takes out a Union Jack flag and puts it over the body of Cody Rhodes, covering him here. Love this. This looked like such a heel move.
Yeah.
Come in, punch the guy, and lay him out and cover him with your flag.
Yeah, this was pretty cool. It's a shame, like, obviously when things are traveling again and stuff, this would be a cool match to do in the UK. A Go-Go versus Cody. Yeah, true. Because we haven't really seen a Go-Go wrestle much yet, so we don't know what he can do. But he's a big star, and I've liked like his promos so far, and I'm enjoying this gut punch. So I do think he's gonna be the focus of the factory, the one they're gonna try and make. Yeah. You know,
all of their guys are cool. So.
But yeah, this is interesting. I assume we're going that route.
I just like QT.
Yeah, he was good.
He's the best.
He's
awesome. The draw for me.
Yeah.
QT's on. I gotta sit down and watch QT.
I do enjoy watching him.
I do.
think he's pretty good.
Fuck you, QT haters. Yeah. Y'all learning now. QT's the future, the wave. He's training all these people. Anthony Ogogo, the caveman guy,
Nick Murado, yeah,
and Solo.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all getting trained
Stars.
by the GOAT.
Yeah.
QT. Fuck yeah. I'm upset. I actually was genuinely rooting for him to win.
Me too.
So I'm a little gutted. So that's why I'm trying to big him up, because I was like, you can't crush him like this. There needs to be a rematch.
We need to get him on the show.
QT on the show. What would you ask him?
Be like, why'd you tap, QT? You're better than that. You're better than Cody.
I'd ask him how he got so good at wrestling.
Yeah.
And how he
apples.
He doesn't do that anymore. He probably still enjoys.
Probably just off camera.
Just eating apples.
Kawhi Leonard eats a load of apples. It's a weird thing about him. He goes to restaurants and like pays them and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna sit here and just eat this bag of apples." Yeah,
it's really weird.
If it's good enough for Kawhi Leonard, it's good enough for QT.
I guess that's why in Toronto, when the Raps won, everyone was like, Kawhi eats here for free. It's like, well, all he eats is apples.
Just bring a bag of apples.
Really expensive. Bring your own apples to the place. We go to Alex Marvez, who's with Scorpio Sky and All Ego Ethan Page. They're looking pretty fresh here as well. I loved Ethan Page's like leopard dark t-shirt.
He's always dressed pretty well.
Yeah, they both look good. They say, riddle me this, riddle me that. Obviously a fan of Batman Forever.
Yes.
Our Batman reviews. Batman Begins coming soon. They say, who's afraid of the big black bat? Sting, we're not scared of you. You're just a mosquito sucking the blood out of this company, buzzing around, annoying. And you know what we do to mosquitoes? We kill them. And he swats his arm. Listen here, Steve. You've overstayed your welcome. Showtime's over. I'm the franchise now, bitch. So calling Sting by his real name, getting the heat. Really, you never called him by their shoot name. That's bad. So Ego says, Darby, we have history. You're covering your face with face paint, not because you're a warrior, not because of honor or some character, but because you have a dent in your forehead that you cover up, and that it was from me. The same like that metal in your elbow, that's because of me. And I'm going to do much worse things. I don't care about the past. I want to make new history. And he's attacked by Darby Allin, who attacks both of them, but it's a 2-on-1 attack here. They turn it around, beat the hell out of Darby. He eventually climbs up like a wall at one point, hits a coffin drop.
Yeah, they're like going up into the stands and stuff, and he climbs up this ladder. Looked great.
Yeah, it looked cool, him jumping off of it, but then...
Onto concrete as well.
Real
They're
concrete.
landing, yeah.
This is real concrete.
Yeah. Yes.
So they then beat him up, and then they go, "Hey, look, there's some stairs here." And this is like the side of Daly's place. It looks kind of similar to like the Bud, like any arena here, like the Bud here in Toronto, but like where the stairs go down, like for the seating section, they just throw him down the stairs.
Yeah.
So Darby goes flying down, not all the way down, but like down some. Good
I mean,
steps.
I think this is how Darby just goes downstairs in general. Like,
just goes stairs.
he's definitely thrown himself downstairs before.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
I actually really like this. It's the first time it legitimized these two guys.
This was, I think, my favourite part of the show tonight.
Okay.
I like both Ethan Page and I like Scorpio Sky, but Page kind of had a weak debut, I think, and hasn't really proved himself in AEW yet. Sky is someone I think is a really good wrestler, but has never connected with me in any way. This was the first time he really connected with me. I thought he sounded great. He felt comfortable in this heel role now. I liked some of his lines. And the beatdown was a proper beatdown and looked so different from beatdowns we're used to. It looked violent. And I also like that Sting coming in, and I know people criticize and there's people go, oh, it's just TNA bringing in all these old guys or whatever. Like, there have been those criticisms. But Sting in another company, he'd come in and would feud with like Cody. He'd feud with Jericho. He'd feud with Christian. But like here, they've gone, okay, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky. It's different. It's not really what I was expecting when Sting's coming in, but I think it's working, and I think we'll get a tag match down the line, which you don't really need Sting to do much, but I think the feud's good, and it's legitimized these guys for sure, and it's got me invested in the feud now.
Yeah, Sting's been helping getting these.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't a big fan of that street fight, but a lot of people were, and it like helped get people over. It helped. I think Darby's completely over now.
Yeah.
And Sting's definitely helped that. I mean, he didn't necessarily need it, but it's definitely helped him.
You needed him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he got thrown down some
Yeah.
stairs. That it looks like it sucks, but yeah. So they took him out. I thought it was a really good
me
promo
too.
from both of these guys. They looked the part too. That's definitely important. They got stylists over here at AEW.
Yeah.
Not just wrestling shirts all the time.
No.
Yeah. We see our next match, which has the number one contender, Britt Baker, going up against Julia Hart,
Yeah.
I believe. I don't have much from this because it feels like it was a pretty quick match because all I got was the air raid crash.
Air raid crash and lockjaw.
Yeah. So.
And I think there was even a cut in there because suddenly Britt's just wearing the glove, ready for the lockjaw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it felt like really quick, so maybe they cut it for time or something. I don't know.
It was a squash. I mean, it's Julia Hart's first match in AEW. I think they're just racking up those wins some more for Britt.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the match more so, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I didn't think this was needed really tonight.
Yeah, the announcement itself, maybe just a promo would
Yeah.
have sufficed, but yeah, we get a Taz report. Remember those? It's like
It's been a while.
the thing where it shows clips of a guy's move and then he dissects it and talks about it.
He's moved on from Sting, so he's back on Adobe Premiere, like just making his little videos.
Does he
of
make
people.
them himself?
He's doing the Dicky Bird for all the wrestlers in AEW.
All right. So this week he focuses on Christian Cage's frog splash.
Yeah.
And he's like, see the extension in the knees, and he's talking about it's
not
like,
enough power in the quads.
He doesn't. Yeah. So he's like secretly sneaked this in Christian in this video. He's like, look how cool this frog splash is, but then he's like, yeah, this guy's shit. Essentially.
Well, yeah, he's picking up all the moves and like how he's like, this should be effective, but because he's not getting the power, he goes like, and look, as he's hitting the what's he call it now? The kill switch, the unprettier, impaler, whatever.
Yeah.
He's like looking at his knee buckling and his foot going out of position, not allowing him to, and Hobbs managed to slip out this 3 times last week and that kind of thing. I like it. He hasn't done this for a while, but it's talking like a sports analysis and actually is picking up on kind of legit things. I think that it's pretty good.
No, it's cool.
I want to see more of this.
Yeah, he used to do it for his guys too, like Cage, and hype up the drill claw and stuff like that. So yeah, but the little feud with Taz and Christian, they're gonna do the same thing with Christian. Maybe they do with Sting, like help work with other guys.
For
so
sure.
It's cool. We go to our next match, which is the Tag Team Eliminator match, which is a 4-way tag match where whoever wins this gets to face the Bucks next week.
Yes.
So it's Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus versus the Varsity Blondes, which is Flying Brian Jr. and
Edge.
And Edge, Griff Garrison, and SCU, who say, they're on, if we lose, we're done. So they're going on. And they called out the Bucks last week. And the Acclaimed, who come out, and of course, he says some more offensive shit. Talks about how Brian Pillman Jr., in 10 years, you'll end up on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, I hope that was cleared with him.
I hope so. It's weird. In the watch along tonight, I compared it to like, remember like when Sean and Brett in the days when they would say things, it's like clearly they weren't clearing things with each other, saying really shitty things to each other, like on air. Which I'm like, isn't that like, oh, how do you like?
Yeah, I kind of feel, I don't know. Even if it's okay with Pillman, you don't know how it is for like Pillman's family watching and stuff like that. I mean, maybe it's fine, but I just remember that, was it Paige and Charlotte Flair when Paige brings up Reed, and it had been ran past Charlotte, but Rick had no idea and like watched it and was like devastated. Right. So I'd stay away from these, but I don't know, it was a good line.
I mean, as a professional person who's been in a promo video now, I feel like I was treading water when I cut some and had to promote a big match. When you got to promote a match, sometimes you say things.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes you say things you don't mean.
Maybe.
I meant everything. Up Next Mania, the video of Dickie Bird and featuring me and Chris Elliott on the YouTube. If you have not watched the epic prime target of Up Next Mania. So this tag eliminator match, I felt like this was kind of like the last match with Britt Baker. It just kind of wasn't needed on the show. There was a lot of things going on. Just like maybe, it was kind of quick.
All these matches didn't feel like there was any flow.
Yeah.
It just kind of, okay, you've got a couple of minutes, go and do your thing.
Yeah, so there was some cool double teams. Jurassic Express hitting like a Widowmaker, and then almost like a Psycho Driver on top of the Acclaimed here. Flying Brian gets his clothesline in. He's always got to get the flying clothesline in.
Oh, yeah.
It's my spot.
It's
my one move. Hits that in there. But it's SCU who eventually do get the pin here, and they will be the ones who challenge the Bucks next week. But I didn't really... I was watching it. I couldn't really get into this.
No, I didn't either. Again, it just felt like rushed. It didn't feel what you expect. Like Dynamite, the matches normally get a lot of time, and here they weren't because they were trying to give as much time for the main event. But that being said, we all knew SCU was going to win, so it was a formality.
Yeah.
I did. I don't know if you noticed, but they changed the setup because obviously having the 2 rings. Mm-hmm. So from the tunnels there were steps going up to the stage, which I think normally it's level. So you saw Luchasaurus with Jungle Boy on his back, who walks out, tries to go up 1 step, and goes like, "Nope, right, you're going down, Jack." And then they walked, and he's like, "How do I pose?" Because he's normally on his shoulders, so he's just like, and flexes his muscles.
Yeah, Jungle Boy Jack deserves better than putting. He needs to be in a blood and guts match.
Yeah.
This was a sleeper miss for me because
Sleeper miss.
Because Jungle Boy is usually like my favorite stuff lately. But
I agree with you.
But this is just to get over the SCU next
now,
week.
So part of me is going. At first, I was like, well, I guess SCU are retiring or like breaking up next week. But then another part goes, after this beatdown tonight, maybe you get like Mox and Kingston sort of screw over the Bucks a bit, and SCU might win and have a bit of a run with the titles.
Fuck it, why not?
Because I'm thinking, do the Bucks necessarily need the titles? Does that feud, like it's a very personal feud anyway, do Mox and Kingston care about going for the tag titles or not?
Hell yeah, they do.
I don't know. I think it could work either way. But
Kingston obviously wants to win any title so he can bring
True.
it back to Kathy.
Yes.
His mom.
Ruthie.
So SCU versus the Bucks next week. Either way, that sounds like it should be
it should be good.
So I am interested in seeing that. And it's the bad guy Bucks versus the good guy SCU. So.
Yes.
We get a promo for next week as well. So next week's a stacked Dynamite because not only that, but another title's on the line. The IWGP US title. Jon Moxley defending against Yuji Nagata. And they show clips of New Japan stuff, which they don't usually show, like this kind of stuff. It's like a full-on promo.
Suzuki making his AEW debut.
Technically, yeah. So many people, yeah. So it's promoting this match next week, and Moxley with the little insert saying, like, I'm going to show you what this is all about, North America and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Mox was saying about, I came at you with respect, and you called me a little punk. So basically says respect is now out the window. He's going to put him in the bully choke. And this time maybe Yuji Nagata will never get up again.
Oh.
So he's going to kill him next week on Dynamite.
Damn.
To retain the title that he just remembered he has.
Oh, I have this title. It seems he forgets every
Yeah.
now and then, but yeah. So that's next week, and I'm super stoked for that as well. The Forbidden
Me too.
Door.
Yeah.
There's another Bullet Club New Japan guy, El Fantasma, showing up on
Impact this
Yeah,
week.
there's all those sorts of crossovers going all over the place, but interesting. We have Tony Schiavone, who's making a major announcement regarding the world title match at Double or Nothing. And he brings out the champ, Kenny Omega, who's looking real fancy, Miami Vice style. Clearly it's live now, because there's the crowd and everything. But Kenny comes out, and he's got Nakazawa behind him, who's clearly okay. Who's got all the titles, the AAA title, the Impact title, the TNA title, and Kenny's got the AEW title. So the belt collector, Kenny, is here. And Tony tells him, next week, there's going to be a match, the two number one ranked wrestlers, and the winner faces you for the title at the pay-per-view. And the match will be Pac versus Orange Cassidy. And Kenny just goes, oh, wow, yeah. I mean, well, Pac did beat me before. He has beaten me a few times in the past. And he's like the number one ranked wrestler here in AEW. And can't wait to fight him and prove him wrong. And Tony's like, well, actually, well, no, he's got to fight Orange Cassidy. And he goes, wait, who? Who's that? Oh, and then he just laughs and does like the evil Street Fighter laugh here. And he goes, everyone loves Orange Cassidy. And out comes Orange Cassidy. He's tired of this getting dismissed here by Kenny. He says everyone dresses up like you, like a good costume, Halloween costume, your stuff. You're a feel-good wrestler. And then he takes off orange shades. And he says, look, you're wearing sunglasses? These are real valuable. He says they're worth a lot of money. They're just Ray-Bans. Like, Ray-Bans are like $2, but like... Not
mine. Mine were $20 from Kensington Market.
Mine are $7 from Kensington. You're going to the wrong guy. We're probably buying the same shades. There's just Ray-Bans. But he takes the shades, and he puts them on Nakazawa instead. And Kenny also says that he's the one who made sunglasses famous in wrestling.
Yes.
Kenny Omega invented sunglasses.
Was the first wrestler ever to wear sunglasses as a wrestler.
Yeah. He says he invented that.
I watched that Two Dudes with Attitude documentary earlier. I think Kevin Nash might want to have words.
You're saying Kevin Nash has a one-up on Kenny Omega.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to wrestling.
More than one. Come on, it's Kevin Nash. He won War Games without even doing anything.
Kenny hasn't even been in a War Games. Kenny continues dissing this guy and says, Orange, you've wasted my valuable time, and I'll see you in 10 years when you grow up. And he gets attacked. Well, actually, he has a great line. He says, so I'll see you in 10 years when you get bigger, and that'll be like, I don't know, whenever. So I'll see you in the funnies, buddy. And he walks off here. So Orange Cassidy kind of getting laughed at by Kenny, and he's got to go through Pac if he's going to fight him.
What do you think the match will be?
I mean, after this, you imagine
assume it will be
Orange Cassidy. It's a little interesting. It's definitely not where I thought they were going, because you expect it's a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy versus Kenny Omega, right? So it is like, it's kind of comedy, but kind of not. But at the same time, does it mean that all the other characters are like tied up doing other things? Is that why?
I mean, that's what it feels like. I assume Inner Circle and Pinnacle will probably continue through to the pay-per-view, and then Mox and Eddie have their issues with the Elite. So we've been saying this for a few weeks now. Like, what is the direction? And I guess that's why they had Hangman lose last week to drop him down the rankings. But I also think they've said they'll do the rankings at AEW, so it makes sense. Why not do the number 1 versus number 2 to see who faces the champ? And although it seems a bit left field, a crowd, and we're talking a full crowd here, will absolutely get into Orange Cassidy against Kenny. It just feels a bit unconventional. But Cassidy can prove when he needs to be serious, he can be serious as well. Yeah. So it's interesting. I kind of dig it, actually.
Yeah, I'm low-key excited for this match.
Because I feel you then go, like, we were saying, what, do you do Christian or something? Anything they go with feels a bit rushed. So I think, why not do a bit of an outsider, someone a bit unconventional? Just change it up.
Yeah, I think it would be a really interesting story, but I mean, you could also go with Pac, but after doing the story, it's kind of strange. So maybe Kenny costs Pac the match and makes it Orange Cassidy or something. But I'd say that's now the more interesting match, Cassidy and Kenny. Yeah. But either Pac or I like Pac and Kenny.
I mean, Pac just needs to cut a promo, and I'm interested in the
match.
match.
Yeah,
you know?
And the match with Kenny could go an hour. Like, those two are the best wrestlers, honestly. So either way, I'm
triple threat.
Weird.
It'd be very weird.
It'd be really weird, yeah. I don't know if it would work, but they must have other plans for some of the other people in bigger, like, setup matches. But that's for Double or Nothing. But yeah, overall, I thought this was it was pretty good heel. It made you hate him because he's dismissing
Kenny's
this guy.
a bit hit and miss on promos with me, but this was a hit for me. I thought he was.
I liked when he was telling Tony to gas him up. He's like, "Oh, don't gas me up." I love this guy. He's ridiculous though. We get a promo from Miro, and he's like, "Hey, the guy who just got thrown down the stairs, yeah, I want to fight you for your title next week."
He even had a contract. Poor Darby.
Damn.
Darby's, broken pile of bones at the bottom of the steps. Miro's like, I said I wanted to go for a champion, and I'm going for you.
Can Sting do the Freebird rule and tag in? Hey, I'm his dad. Let me sub in.
Let me do it, yeah.
Fight Miro.
Miro did have a great line here to finish it off. He said, 7 days from now, the world will find out what happens when the man who doesn't mind dying faces the man who doesn't mind killing. Ooh.
Damn, bars.
Yeah.
Miro versus Darby next week, too.
It feels a bit weird, because obviously we've just had that great angle with Sky and Paige. And Miro Darby, I think, just is something you could build to a bit more. Yeah. It feels a lot's going on. Could we
Too
not
much
have,
is going on.
Just while you're doing this feud, have Miro just kill Kip again in a match, you know?
I thought that's what he was going to say.
Just blow it off.
Because he was hyping, he's like, I got something planned that I've asked for, specifically. And then he says it's this. I was like, oh, I thought you wanted your match with Kip. Clearly, Kip comes out and costs him the title.
I guess. It just feels... I think Miro versus Darby could actually be really good, because Miro doesn't mind throwing people around at all, and Darby seems to really like being thrown around. So I think it could be a really good David Goliath kind of match. Yeah. It just feels a little rushed.
Yeah, I think it's to get Kip to stop him from winning and stuff like that. I'm not too big into Miro, to be honest. I want to give him a chance and stuff. That line was really cool, but otherwise, I'm like,
It's already so much better now. He's done the turn on Kip.
I guess. It's not over yet.
He's not talking about video games anymore, and I don't know. I still want him to kind of he needs to step up. But I don't know, a match
For
against
sure.
Darby, he could.
He could. We go to the main event
Oh yeah.
of the evening. We're going to war. What is it good for? Blood and Guts, formerly known as War Games for some people. Blood and Guts, it's the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle, meaning Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, and Chris Jericho. And they're going up against MJF, who's turned on them with his own group with FTR, Wardlow, and everyone's favorite, Sean Spears. So, Inner Circle come out, and they're in, like, jumpers.
Yeah, they're all in prison jumpsuits.
Not rompers.
Sorry?
Not like
Not
those
rompers, no.
prison jumpsuits. They're inmates, and they all have their names on the back, and then they all have, like, prisons or penitentiaries.
Basically their hometown prison.
We figured this out because Jericho's said Stony Mountain like institution, which I quickly Googled, and it's like
Winnipeg.
Manitoba. Yeah, so clearly that's his hometown.
Yeah, and Sammy's was somewhere in Texas, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. It kind of looked like mechanic gear, almost like.
A bit.
But like, I get what they were going for, and
Working at Autofix.
But like they wrestled, like remember the Stampede? They had the matching gear.
They've
like,
done themed
yeah,
gear before.
it's cool to see it. They're a team.
I like it.
Yeah.
I always like when in NXT they do kind of the matching war paint or camo or stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
You're going to war.
As Chris Leone in the Twitch chat says, you always got to rep your hometown prison.
Absolutely.
Obviously. And Spells in the chat says, hey, Kip is actually out for surgery. So my dream match of Kip and Miro isn't going to happen now.
No.
Kip's out for surgery?
Oh.
Man. I was just getting into him. He's becoming my favorite. So Inner Circle looking like they broke out of prison, going up against the Pinnacle, who are all in white. So it's the opposites. The bad guys, the heels, are in the white, and the good guys are in the black jumpers. It starts off with Sammy Guevara. So we know the rules. Sorry, it's 2 rings. There's a giant cage, and these two will start, Sammy and Dax, and then every few minutes someone enters, and it's like there's always an advantage on the bad guy's side here, as they talked about.
And the match doesn't officially start till everyone's in, and the only way to win is by submission or surrender.
Surrender. Every way, every how. So Sammy and Dax start off here. Sammy's running around him. There's a great spot where he does a double, like from one ropes of one ring to the other, double rope jump into a crazy cutter, and then starts doing these like turnbuckle face plants into each turnbuckle up and down, and then throws them face first into the camera. And then when they cut back, Dax is bleeding, so we got blood in our Blood and Guts match.
Yes.
The start of much
Yeah.
blood.
I thought when I saw the Pinnacle wearing white that they might be the ones to bleed quite a lot in this.
I forgot to mention, yes, they had the P&P, the Santana and Ortiz had the face paint. Like
yes.
We've seen them wear this before. It's like I'm trying to remember what it is. Obviously, it's the Dead Presidents, Super Psych in the chat,
Right.
but we've seen other wrestlers use it before.
Yeah, they've done it before as well for big matches.
Looks great.
I think was the parking lot brawl.
Yeah,
I think, wasn't
that's
it?
right. Yeah, it looks great.
5-star classic.
Yeah, it technically has a 5-star. Yeah. But Dax is bleeding. It looks like he's wearing face paint. So Sammy's got the upper hand. But then in comes the chairman, Sean Spears, the chairman of the board, with his Sean Spears chair. Did you know you could buy Sean? I don't know if you can buy it, but he's got his logo.
It's got the maple leaf on it and everything. Yeah.
And then he smacks Sammy in the head with it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's gimmicked.
Is it?
I don't know, but it looked cool. I hate it, but it looked cool. So Sammy's just getting beat up here, but then Ortiz is in. He comes in. He's hulking up. He's beating up all these guys. But then I believe it's Dash now. Who's like all these guys keep beating down on the Inner Circle because they have the advantage. There's this spot where Ortiz ends up getting like a gory bomb from Dash, like in between the apron and the cage, and he like falls through, like getting stuck in between there. It looked great.
From Dax.
Sorry, was it Dax? I think
Cash isn't in it yet.
I think I messed up that Cash did come in. I think Cash did come in. I'm messing up the order here already. It is kind of confusing how it's just like there's one like wish they just did the match like Survivor Series, like eliminate the guy, get him out of the cage.
No.
That's too much work.
Because that's the whole point of the surrender. It's a war. You
Right,
fight
it's a
until-
war. Okay.
I don't know. It's eliminations we see all the time.
Yeah. Well, the match continues here. Santana comes in. He's on fire. He's hitting back suplexes, a rock bottom at one point. He's loading everybody up. But then they go to picture-in-picture. Commercial break, which pisses a lot of people off. You know how I feel about commercials in wrestling. But it's okay. It's TV. But during this, Wardlow gets his entrance.
Yeah.
They go, we're going to picture-in-picture. Wardlow, you're in. So Wardlow comes in. He's, of course, throwing people around. But when we come back, it's Jake Hager for the big meat men standoff, the big hosses, big lads wrestling. They go at it. Jake's hitting everybody with moves, double splash in the corner, the Hager bomb. He grabs Wardlow by the man bun, which looks like it would really hurt. He could easily rip it off his head, I think. It realistically, if he really wanted to. But Wardlow beats him up and gets him stuck into the cage there, grinding him against there. There's blood everywhere. There was this spot where Sammy does like a double flipping into a Spanish fly off at some point. There was a few slip ups, but also everyone's just bleeding.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but it looked to me. I watched wrestling. It looks like there's some blading going on.
Oh, a whole load of blading. There's a moment Sammy's in between the two rings, just head down for ages. And the camera just goes to Dax, and it's like, oh, look how much Dax is bleeding, and then it comes back to Sammy, and he's bleeding.
Yeah.
Cash I didn't even see Cash fight anyone, and he's bleeding.
There was so much blood. It definitely lived up to the blood.
I think the Pinnacle had a bet, who can bleed the most, and I think Inner Circle had the exact opposite bet.
None of us are bleeding. So MJF comes in, the final member of Pinnacle. And he comes in, he's just being an asshole, going around taunting while his guys are beating down on the Inner Circle. He's posing. The crowd here, because there are people in the crowd here in Jacksonville, are booing, chanting asshole at him. But then in comes Chris Jericho, the final member of the Inner Circle, and it's official. It's war. It's a crazy battle standoff, classic shot where they all run at each other and everyone's fighting everyone. The Inner Circle seem to get the upper hand here and start beating the hell out of Pinnacle. There's a crazy spot where it's Sammy Guevara hitting the Van Terminator, the coast to coast.
Not quite as good as Shane.
Yeah,
but it was good.
okay, yeah,
it was
sure. It looked better than Shane.
No,
It looked better than
come
Shane.
on.
At one
You're
point,
just saying that to wind me up.
I thought you liked Sammy.
I like Sammy, but he should stick to what he knows, and
A Van Terminator.
Shane should stick to what he knows.
Shooting star press.
Shooting star presses and Van Terminators.
Shane would have fit in this match. Shane likes jumping off.
Oh yeah,
things.
that's
into
what we need.
Soft landings. So there's a fork that's brought in here at some point. I don't know what's going on, but shout out Abdullah the Butcher. So there's a fork, and then at one point they lick it. I think it's Ortiz who's like, Santana.
Yeah, I think Santana just carves MJF's forehead with this fork.
Oh my god, crazy. Then they go to another commercial break. During picture-in-picture, MJF, like you mentioned, is bleeding, so he tries to crawl out of the ring, and he signals for Tully Blanchard, who's on the outside. Tully, who's been involved with plenty of these kinds of matches, I don't think he's ever really won any of them. So
Probably
he's technically
not,
a bad. They said in the parlay he's going over plans. Yeah, the plans are he's always lost in these things.
Watch all my War Games matches and do what the other team does.
This is where I got worried because Tully is helping MJF get out of here. So he grabs the keys from the ref and he's unlocking it and he's getting MJF out. This is all in the picture-in-picture thing. So this kind of sucks for anyone who doesn't really get the picture-in-picture stuff because you just come back and be like, what the fuck is going on? Tully opens it up. MJ starts to climb the side of the cage, the lighting rig part. So he's going up. He's scaling this thing. Jericho sees this, so he books it out and then hits Tully with the cage door. And this is where I got shook because all these people in the Pinnacle were blading and all wearing white. Tully, Don Cherry, he's in a white everything.
In white, yeah.
White suit, white hat, everything.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets hit with the cage door. I looked at you, I looked at our watch-along. Oh boy, is Tully blading. He's looking down for a long time. I don't think he did.
He should have.
You're damn right he should have. But he didn't. I don't think he did. I didn't see him bleed. But then Jericho chases up when we come back from break. He chases MJF to the top of this cage, and then they're fighting up on top. Jericho drops MJF into the walls of Jericho, and you know it hurts more when they're on top.
Oh yeah,
That
so
high
much
up
more.
and on the cage and everything.
Altitude, it gets to your head and
Yeah, exactly.
makes you weaker.
Right. MJF gets out of it, hits him in the balls, and then puts the Salt of the Earth, the Fujiwara armbar. But Jericho is not going to tap out here. He's not going to do it. Meanwhile, Inner Circle and Pinnacle, they're just dead in the ring. They're not moving at all. Jericho is not giving up, even though MJF bites his hand, grabs the ring, nails Jericho in the head with it, then picks him up, and it looks as if he's going to throw him off the top of this structure. And this is where Inner Circle get up right away. They go outside the cage. They look up and they go, "No, stop, don't do this." And the commentary are like, "Oh my God, he's gonna throw him off this. There's cement down there. It's all cement. What's he gonna throw him there? What's gonna happen?" So Inner Circle say, "MJF, please do not do this. We surrender." So the ref waits for the bell. The match is over. By surrender, the Inner Circle lose and the Pinnacle win, and then MJF just has this bloodied face and he smiles, and Jericho's like just standing in front of him, teetering, and MJF kind of reminds me of the Lion King, where he just kind of
Long live the king.
pushes him off, and Chris Jericho does the Nestea plunge. Chris Jericho does the Vince McMahon explaining to Gronk how to do his WrestleMania spot. Flies off the top backwards into what they say is cement, but it's just a box.
It's a big mattress covered in
Tape?
silver spray painted cardboard resembling a ramp or something.
So, yeah. Another anticlimactic Elite Wrestling here.
Okay,
Finish.
the match itself, I didn't mind. I actually quite liked the finish of MJF threatening Jericho, like to throw him off, and the surrender, because that's something I kind of I liked about the old War Games, is that it's not pin, it's you've got to surrender. And I've seen, trying to remember ones, but there's been ones where like guys have been like handcuffed and they're about to just like execute them, and the team's like waved it off. So I quite liked the finish, and I thought visually seeing them both on top of the cage, like looking out over Daly's place, and you see kind of the like stars in the background and stuff, it looked really cool. But the spot at the end, again, like if you can't make it look good, don't do it. Like, obviously you want it to be safe. Obviously you don't want to throw a guy 15 feet onto concrete.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that, and that's fine. But if you can't make it look good, don't do it.
Yeah, look, we all had the issue with the barbed wire exploding thing.
Yeah.
It was so anticlimactic because what did you expect? We were going to explode a guy? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you told us
Yeah,
you would.
and you make it look good.
Yeah, you do it. You figure it out. I don't know. If you're going to promote that, I figure, well, you got a lot of money, you figure it out. And it was a wet fart. It was sparklers, and everyone laughed. And then we got over it, and we moved on. But it's like, it's etched in history now of wrestling fans. Like, it's top tier botchamania quality of that incident of the barbed wire in AEW, the exploding thing. This is just as equally as bad, but the match itself is kind of like the Kenny and Moxley one. The match itself had some interesting stuff. It had some cool spots. It reminded me of some of the older War Games matches. It had that vibe. Everyone's bleeding, so that adds to the look. You mentioned the shots on top of the cage and stuff. It looked epic. Some of the shots were really cool. But I kept trying to get into it, especially some of the spots where the guys are just kind of like walking around, staring around, slipping around.
The Pinnacle did nothing though.
Yeah.
Like that was my issue. There wasn't, apart from the actual finish with MJF, it was just the Inner Circle beating the shit out of them the whole time. And I feel this whole feud has been is the Inner Circle getting the upper hand. And I'd have liked to have seen them get way more offense in it. And like, if they're all bleeding, have some of the baby face bleed too. Come on. Like, who are we kidding?
I don't know. It's just like the match itself. I was like, yeah, it's cool. It's wrestling. That's what this War Games thing is. They do crazy spots on each other, and that's what these kinds of matches are. I get it, and I'm like, I can get over that. But then definitely the spot is just so funny. It's the same thing. It's like, wait, what? He's gonna throw him? He's gonna throw him, and it doesn't help when they're saying it's concrete, and then the guy falls through boxes.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's whenever I watch that Armageddon 6-man match, it's the Rikishi spot. I want to like it. I want like Rikishi being chokeslammed off the cage.
That looked
I
cooler.
want that to be cool.
Dude, that looked cooler than this.
It looked cooler than this, but it was still landing on a bed of hay. And this was the same thing. Like you want it to work.
Yeah.
Like you tell someone, it's like, and then Jericho, the Inner Circle surrender and save Jericho. But anyway, MJF still throws him off, and it was crazy. And it's like, oh, MJF wins, and then he throws him onto a mattress.
It was
or
just
boxes.
weird. Yeah.
I think it would have worked fine with just MJF standing on top of the cage, Jericho's body just draped over, and him saying thank you, and then posing, and then that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
Again, it was just a wet fart of an ending. Match was fine. I don't think it got anywhere close to some of the NXT War Games matches we've seen in previous years.
I mean, well, Sammy Guevara didn't do a double moon off the top.
Well,
so.
he couldn't. I don't know how you do a double moon off that.
Yeah, it was really funny. It was just, it felt the same. It was deja vu. We're like, wait, what's gonna happen? He's gonna throw him off. Okay, we'll accept the finish because we know the spot's coming. They were set up. Jericho was standing there for so long. And then MJF pushes him, and it's like, well, that's what it looks like, though. Like, I hated Shane McMahon, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, because the whole match was just 30 minutes of just like sleeping, and then Shane McMahon falls off the top onto a mattress that was dressed to look like the announce table.
That looked cooler than this, though.
Both, like, I hated that.
That looked cooler.
And that sucked, and that looked cooler than this, because this guy just fell backwards. This looked like fun.
Yeah.
Jericho was like, all right, crack the ST, fall backwards, free falling, and fall into a bunch of stuff. It did, like, and Jericho's taking some nasty bumps in wrestling, and I'm not knocking these guys, but, like, yeah, this looked really lame. Like, this, it's 2 times now when your one friend that gives you shit about wrestling. They're like, what's going on in the wrestling World Wrestling Federation? What's going on? Well, they're doing an exploding barbed wire match, and then they go, whoa, that sounds great. That's crazy. Wrestling does that. And then the next day, how was the exploding? It was good. It's all right. It kind of sucked. Okay, cool. What's popular now in wrestling? Well, they do this thing where they put 2 rings, and then there's a cage, and they fight, and there's all these crazy things. Okay, how was it? Well, the guy fell off the top, and it was some boxes. It was like the David Blaine spot.
When he jumped, yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, it's still I'm sure it's not easy jumping off that.
No,
it's still
definitely
scary.
not. Yeah.
Like you're high up, but yeah, it didn't look good. What I did like is the interviews outside the cage beforehand. I think it made the main event feel special and looked like aesthetically quite different from what you're used to watching for like the Kenny and the Miro interview. And I felt like it was almost a deliberate thing to make the rest of the show feel rushed and a bit mediocre, to make it feel like this is really a one-match show, but you've got these little bonus things. I read from on Twitch, apparently people that were at the show were tweeting out saying that Tony Khan came out to say the first hour they're watching on tape, and they're going to provide like the noise for it, and then so all they saw was the Derby beatdown was the first thing they saw, the interviews, and then the match, which kind of makes sense now when Tony Schiavone called it a one-match event, which I'm pretty sure was when they were advertising the tickets on sale.
Got you.
But Tony Khan came out and offered refunds to anyone who wants it.
Fuck. Like, we're wrestling fans. We're so jaded, but like, part of me wants these guys to do so good. I want to be like, oh, that was crazy. That was like something you got to check out. But it seems like every time I'm like, oh man, it's laughable. But I know they'll bounce back and stuff. But I wouldn't say it's as bad as the exploding bar.
No, not at all. Because
but it still is like.
But again,
so
it was the aftermatch. It was the post match. You remove that and you go, oh, it was all right. I've seen better, but it was fine. And the Pinnacle needed to win that. They've been so weak during this feud. Do you see this continuing? Do you think it will be Jericho MJF? Do you see them doing a Stadium Stampede at Double or Nothing, or like another 5-on-5, or some singles matches, tag matches?
Tony Khan will come out and say that Kenny Omega built the concrete ramp stage thing, and that's why it didn't hurt. Jericho's gonna make jokes about it. Jericho's gonna say it was shit. I know, like they have to.
Mm.
They can't sell that Jericho's taken out to go tour with Fozzy.
It looked like even when he was checking on, they were checking on him. He was kind
peeking.
of opening his eyes and peeking side to side, like.
That's what Tony Khan was doing on Twitter right after it happened. I love AEW, and it's such a great alternative to pro wrestling. And again, we're jaded. We love to shit on everything and nitpick everything, but it was funny. The guy just fell backwards off the top, and yeah,
it looked lovely.
It looked like fun.
Yeah. So what do you think the direction is? Double or nothing?
I guess a rematch now. Yeah, there's got to be something for double.
5-on-5.
I guess.
And Stadium Stampede or something else.
Yeah.
Oh no, I guess you can't because it's live, isn't it? It's full attendance.
It makes me feel like they were planning. It seems like the same thing. Moxley was supposed to be taken out, but instead they're like, nah. And it sounds like maybe it was the same thing.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know, but overall, like I still enjoyed some of the stuff on the show. The match itself was like fun. It did. You're right. It didn't quite get up to some of the old school ones or the NXT ones, but it still was fun. You could tell some of the guys in the match really wanted to do this for so long and like be a part of this, especially FTR and those guys, because the Tully and they're into that stuff. But they'll do another one down the line. But like I mentioned.
Oh, absolutely. I think
so.
like.
Even some like the WWE NXT ones have been good. Like they've been really crazy and stuff like that. But like even in TNA, some of these hardcore, crazy, Lethal Lockdown, whatever, like they get kind of like the same. Like how you feel about ladder matches. Like sometimes it's just so like.
And that's why AEW keep on kind of making new what's old, old what's new. Yeah, making what's old new. And I kind of felt the going up on the top of the cage was trying to be newer, I guess. Whereas you think of all those old war games, I guess some of them went on top, but majority of them just happened in the ring. The whole point is the cage is meant to enclose you, so you don't have any of that stuff. And I think maybe if they went a bit simpler, it could have been better. Yeah.
Well, overall, like still enjoyable show, but the ending was great. Just fun stuff. I can't wait to see the memes. I'm already seeing the memes. The memes look great. I love wrestling memes. Send them to us all at Up Next Podcast. And hey, guys, that's what we thought of AEW Dynamite. But a little reminder, patrons, we take calls on BDElite. And yes, we did a watch-along. Perhaps we'll do another Dynamite watch-along down the line.
I think so.
I think it's safe to say Double or Nothing will be doing a watch-along.
100%.
So Double or Nothing, you can join us on Twitch as well. But let's go to some calls here on the show.
So we go to Magan. Magan, how are you, and what did you think of tonight's Blood and Guts?
I will say this though. How you guys doing? Before I start, I will say this: it was no Revolution dud. I will say that. But I mean, coming out of this match, there's a lot of potential for like other matches, aside from this. Like, say Jericho takes some time off and he gets ridden off for a few months, and then I would have Sammy Guevara and MJF, go one-on-one and Double or Nothing, and of course you could break up both the Pinnacle and Inner Circle into matches of their own. Like I would see FTR and Ortiz and Santana, who looked fantastic, by the way. That spot with the fork, and as he stabbed AJ in the head and he licked it. Oh, he was an animal. He was an animal. So yeah, I mean, I would love to see FTR and Ortiz and Santana in a match at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, go with the tag and Sammy versus MJF. I think that could be good. Yeah.
And of course, you can do another Jake Hager and Wardlow match at some point. And of course, the next week it looks pretty good. I mean, Moxley defending his IWGP US title against the Goddess should be a lot of fun. The SCU is maybe splitting up against the Young Bucks, because I do see that happening, because they have the stipulation. Of course, the whole stipulation saying if they lose a match, they're no longer going to be a tag team. So there's definitely an element of a suspense there. And I think you think Miro's going to win the title against Darby Allin?
I hope not, because I like the Darby direction, like what they're doing with Darby.
I've been enjoying Darby's run, but I could actually see it happening, and then that takes the title off Darby to do the tag match, and you can have Miro defending the title. Maybe Miro needs it, because I think they've kind of messed up hit the start of this run. So It wouldn't surprise me, no.
No, definitely not.
Not-
You don't think?
Not gonna lie, like Darby Allin for like the last several weeks has been very consistent being in the main event spot, and I think Miro needs it more. And as far as Kenny Omega's opponent for Double or Nothing goes, I mean, a lot of people. I mean, I think Orange Cassidy's gonna it's gonna win, and he's gonna beat Pac because they could do Pac Omega at another time, but like I mean, they're really surprised a lot of people if like, Orange Cassidy gets it because I'd like to see how he'll play off of Kenny. I'm sure this is gonna be very fun.
Yeah. That's the match that interests me more. As you said, you can always go back to Pac and Kenny, and I think there's maybe a bit more story to be told with that. But it's shaping up to look like an interesting card. Not necessarily the card I'd have predicted, but certainly looks interesting. And I agree. Next week again looks stacked. I actually think after this week's Dynamite, it kind of looks like it will be better next week.
Yeah,
And a couple more things before I go. A couple more things. I'm a little worried that Double or Nothing is going to go back to having a full capacity is going to bite them in the ass because I'm scared because we're not out of it yet because I don't know how many people are going to be vaccinated by May 30th. And lastly, what was I going to say? I'm drawing blanks right now. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the vaccination thing, but again, we're in Toronto, we're in Canada. Things are different for us, so I don't really. It'd be cool to see a crowd, but I watched the UFC stuff, and that was cool. But then it still gives me mixed. It gives me mixed feelings, man.
I mean, there hasn't been any positive cases coming out of that Jacksonville UFC show, so that's kind of a miracle. Oh, and finally, before Dynamite came on, I saw MLW Fusion's season finale. That cliffhanger was a doozy. So apparently I don't know if I should say it because I don't know if everybody saw it.
Yeah,
Well,
you can say it.
I mean, yeah, it aired. So I mean, it had Leo Rush. We watched that match. That was pretty good.
That was very good.
You're talking about the Dario Cueto turning up at the
end,
right?
that was a very cool reveal. Yeah, so apparently Lucha Underground is getting a second life, but it's going to be under the MLW umbrella.
That's cool. I think Lucha Underground will definitely fit in. MLW does quite a lot of off the wall stuff as well, so I think Lucha Underground could definitely fit there. Okay. Exciting stuff.
Thank you, Megan.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Megan, and for hanging out with us always in the Twitch chats, and for calling in, and for being a patron. But also, he's right. I feel like FTR versus P&P at the pay-per-view should be crazy.
I want to see that now, actually. I think that would be good. Let's go over to the Windy City to speak to Jake. Jake, if you'd like to unmute yourself, please.
Hey guys, dude, it's such a lit apartment you guys got there, so congratulations to you both. And
thank you.
I can see people in the Twitch chat going off about how our sound is bouncing. Well, we still have to put our set together.
Yes.
I know the audio sounds weird today, guys. The set is getting put together, we swear. But yes, thank you, Jake, for noticing.
Yeah, just across the street from Rogers, so go Blue Jays. So really great place around there, and by the lakefront. It's definitely a nice choosing from you guys.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, I enjoyed the show. Look, it's I don't know, man, because the match really delivered. The Blood and Guts match really delivered. The finish with Inner Circle surrendering was, in my opinion, brilliant creative. I understand the ending could have been executed better. I think the one for me is that, not only just that with the padding and the ending, but I thought camera work was really off their game tonight. So in the production side of things, they what was I going to say? It is astounding how weird it looks. I mean, they should have never followed Jericho. Keep the camera fixed on MJF so Jericho falls out of frame, kind of like when Jeff Hardy always did those swanton bombs with on Randy Orton, and just cut to a new angle showing Jericho having crashed through everything. Hide the crash pad cardboard impact and it helps cheap the height there. So that's my part in the production side of things, because working behind, me studying behind the scenes stuff. So that's definitely what I took out of it.
Yeah, I mean, some of the the replays, I was going, why are you replaying it from that angle? Because it makes it look even
I agree, yeah.
worse. Yeah, the kind of bird's eye view one especially looked terrible. because you just saw
Yeah.
the panels move out of the way.
They weren't real panels.
No.
They're cardboard.
Yeah, especially the bird's eye view. Definitely when you show everything on it, it's like it kind of looked really funky. So the replays that really didn't help at all. Um, and I agree, the commercials took me out of it at times. That was definitely a negative. It shouldn't be that much on this big of a match, and I kind of wish this was the match at Double or Nothing, so I don't have to won't really take out of it. But I have to add, having enough fans in the crowd to make a real ruckus for the first time in any wrestling program in over a year made a huge difference. So, I mean, I might be in the minority, but I am looking forward to the full capacity crowd of Double or Nothing. And plus, the promotion for Moxley and Nagata, that really felt like a huge UFC-like fight feel to it. And Moxley continues to prove that he's the best on the mic on AEW right now. So I'm wondering if it seemed like Nagata's going to fly all the way to Florida, fly all the way to Daly's place. I'm not sure if I'm correct on that.
What, they're going to get him a direct
I doubt he's
private
walking,
jet?
is he?
I'm excited for that.
Man.
Yeah, I know, Jake, you love your New Japan stuff. We did that New Japan Cup from '94, Super J Cup, sorry, from all the way back there. And I think it's super interesting seeing like a guy like Yuji Nagata is interesting. And he was on TNT years ago, so super exciting.
Yeah, I think we kind of undersold that promo package a bit, because considering it was just announced very cold last week and there's no real story, within like a minute they gave you a story for this match and made it increase the interest. And as you said, Moxley's one of those guys that can just talk and get you invested so quickly.
Yeah, I just mentioned here, I know that you guys were busy with the move, but have you guys got the chance to watch the rest of the A&E stuff with Savage or Piper?
I haven't yet. No.
Yeah, I've seen all of them so far.
I'm a little.
Oh,
behind,
you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much if you haven't seen it yet, Braden. But I don't know about you, but I enjoyed Austin. I enjoyed Piper. The Savage one was really weird because the first hour was it was a 2-hour again, and it seemed like. Yeah, I understand that it's a pro WWE stance, and it seemed like it was an unnecessary hit job on him, focusing on all the negatives that he had to go through, kind of like too much of the extreme of Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, I heard that from a few people actually. I haven't watched it, but a few of my friends said that. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna reveal this spoiler.
Please.
I was really pissed off when I saw.
I want to watch it still.
I will reveal this. I was really pissed off when I saw Bubba the Love Sponge.
Okay, that's all right.
Him and Hulk Hogan tag teaming together on certain segments and telling how much they
Sure, that's not the first time
they had a promo on radio, and yeah, I mean it was really weird to watch that. And if this episode needs representation, it will definitely be on my worst of list at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean I don't think any of them have been particularly good, really. It's not really covering any new ground for me. And kind of one of the criticisms we had with the Austin one was that they didn't really go into the nitty-gritty and maybe the darker side of his past. And yeah, with this, maybe it's difficult when the guy's deceased as well, and there's so much fans, because you don't have that sort of other side and that defense. I can certainly see why people felt that way. For me, I kind of liked I agree, Bubba the Love Sponge did not need to be in that documentary at all, but the Gorgeous George stuff and things like that, I found quite interesting how kind of open and honest, well, we assume honest it was. But yeah, I can understand why people felt negatively about it, but I don't think they're particularly good docs, to be honest.
Yeah, you mind if I ask, Davey? Because you've mentioned that, especially for last season for Dark Side of the Ring with the Benoit one and the Owen Hart one, is that you didn't really learn a whole lot of new stuff, but I just want to ask, why does that matter to you, if you don't mind me asking? Because maybe it's they should, it's captivate, it's catering to maybe another audience who might not be caught up with all the wrestling stories.
No, I agree with you, and some of my favorite documentaries are the ones where I know absolutely nothing about. I love that film Senna, and I really don't care for Formula One or anything, but I find the kind of human story very interesting. And I think maybe that's as you said, like it's maybe for people that have heard of Randy Savage but didn't really watch wrestling, and you go, oh well, that's actually quite interesting. But for me, when they're not good, like well-made documentaries, and they're telling me stuff I already know, like I don't really care. Does that make sense? Whereas at least if you're covering stuff I already know, and you're doing it in a good way. But as you said, like the choice of talking heads on some of these programs, it's I don't think they've been the best personally. Certainly not the same quality as like Darkside or something.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Darkside next week.
Yeah, and I think with Darkside, because there were so many episodes where I didn't know a whole lot about it, or there were some episodes that revealed more information that I'm not really aware of. Whereas things like the Benoit and the Owen Hart case, I think any wrestling fan has kind of personally probably done their research on it over the years themselves and kind of know a lot of the information. So but I certainly those were very well made documentaries in my opinion. I did think they were good, just maybe not particularly eye-opening for me. But I'm certainly looking forward to that to Darkside coming back.
Yeah, definitely with the new episodes as well. Hey, thank you, Jake, for calling in, man, and for always.
Thanks so much, guys. And by the way, shout out one more, just my weekly shout out. Shout out to the Toronto Maple Leafs for making it to the playoffs. If you don't mind, now that my Blackhawks are out of it, and I'll make this bold prediction. I'm going to say the Maple Leafs will win it all, and we'll win the Stanley Cup Finals this year. So.
I hope so, because we can see the Scotiabank Arena from where we live.
We have a lot of windows in our spot. Yeah, but they're
go Leafs, go.
Jake, I know you wish you were in Toronto, but the first thing you need to know about living in Toronto is don't get your hopes up.
Yeah,
the numbers are staggering there, so I understand that. So.
Hey, no, I just mean the Leafs suck.
Being from England, supporting Arsenal and obviously the England football team, and living in Toronto 5 years, I've learnt to not get my hopes up about anything regarding real sports. That's why I stick to the wrestling, and I still get disappointed.
Yeah.
So,
sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Jake. Take care, man.
All right, have a good one, guys.
See ya.
Talk to you next week.
All right. Is that
okay,
it?
That's it. Yeah.
Hey, thanks, callers. Thanks, Megan and Jake, for calling in. Reminder, BDElite. We'll take calls every Wednesday night on the Twitch, and we'll record them here for the podcast. If you're a patron, you can call in. And for like pay-per-views and stuff, we're thinking of doing more of these as well. But thanks, guys, and thank you for listening here. If you want to be a patron for perks like that, like for access to all the podcasts we do, check out patreon.com/upnext, because we're proudly supported by our patrons, and we make so many podcasts like this covering all sorts of stuff: War Games 2000, Mortal Kombat, all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, random movies, Samurai Cops, Backlashes. Everything.
Yeah, and I know we mentioned we'll be doing a first ever BDE sing-along.
Oh yeah.
Which more info on that to come down the line. And we'll get down to working on the Batman Begins review in the near future, because we've done all the Batman movies, and now we're up next is Batman Begins, so we'll get down to that down the line. One last thing, did you end up watching some of the New Japan, the main event of Will Ospreay versus
I watched the main event,
Shingo? Yeah. You watched that match? Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I loved. Nothing will top Shingo versus Ospreay from the
Super
Juniors, because that was just a movie. Just this epic movie. This was really good, but I didn't quite get to that level for me.
Yeah, I think there was part of it for me where there was no chance Shingo was winning, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So there was that taken away, whereas that Super Juniors match, you could really see it going either way.
Sure.
Like Shingo on that undefeated streak, Ospreay is kind of this underdog that came up through the ranks on the Super Juniors. But yeah, very good match. Certainly one I'm going to be watching again, and I'm sure one we'll probably be talking about come January next year.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see it. I know like they shouldn't even be doing shows, it seems, out there in Japan and the world of the Olympics and all that stuff. Things are crazy, but I want to see Ospreay versus Okada again. So
why not?
Hopefully it happens. Cherry picking New Japan, and we cherry pick all the stuff. Like you mentioned, some MLW. MLW taking a little break, a hiatus, but when they come back, I feel like they'll get some traction if they continue to keep it at 7 on Wednesdays for an hour-long show. It's really smart.
It's a great lead-in, absolutely, for AEW, and now the sort of WWE connection with them and the Lucha Underground connection. So I think MLW could, and they'll be on. They're on Vice, is it? Coming forward?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they could turn some heads.
So all
Certainly.
the wrestling, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, all that stuff. Thank you so much for listening and supporting and all that stuff. Follow the socials at Up Next Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. I myself, Braden Harrington. You can find me. I'm at the Brady.
And I am at Davey Portman.
Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. Happy Cinco de Mayo. And we didn't get guts. We got blood. And we got butts.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite.